There was a time when it felt like everything had come to a halt. The laughter that once filled my home faded away, and mornings felt like waking up to a heavy silence, making me wonder why I should even keep going. I thought my story was over, that life had given me all it had to offer, and now it was just about waiting. But I was wrong. Life was simply taking a breather, gathering up the meaning I hadn't yet discovered. One evening, I wandered into an old library that was about to close for good. The air smelled like time, dust, paper, and forgotten dreams. In a corner, I found a man repairing a torn book. His hands moved slowly, patiently, gluing the edges of pages that others might have thrown away. When I asked him why he bothered, he smiled faintly and said, "Every book deserves to be finished, even the damaged ones. Sometimes the torn parts hold the most important lines." I stood there, quiet, realizing he was not talking only about the book. He was talking about life, about people like me who thought their pages no longer mattered. That night, I walked home differently. The streets glowed beneath the rain, each reflection shimmering like a small promise. I began to wonder if maybe what I saw as endings were simply edits, moments when life rewrote what I thought I knew. Weeks later, I met a woman who ran a flower stall by the bus station. Her face carried both kindness and fatigue, the kind that only comes from surviving many winters. As I helped her arrange a basket of wildflowers, she told me she used to be a painter. When her husband passed away, she stopped creating art and closed her studio. Years later, while walking by a field, she noticed wildflowers growing through cracked stones, color blooming where no one expected it. "That was the day," she said. "I realized that beauty does not ask for permission to return. It just finds a way." She smiled and added, "Sometimes, when we think our life is done, the next chapter is already growing in the cracks." Her words stayed with me like a melody I could not forget. I started to notice small signs everywhere. Laughter from a stranger on the street, the warmth of morning light through the curtains, the way time heals slowly but never stops moving. It was as if life was whispering, "Be patient. I am not done writing you yet." And then there is an ancient story I once heard about a sculptor who spent years shaping a statue from a single block of stone. When he finished, it was magnificent, a perfect figure. But one night, lightning struck his studio and split the sculpture into pieces. Everyone in the village mourned the loss, but the sculptor did not. Instead, he picked up the fragments and began to carve again. Years later, when people came to see the new creation, they saw something far more beautiful, not smooth and flawless, but alive with cracks filled with gold, reflecting light from every angle. "It was never supposed to be perfect," he told them. "It was supposed to tell the truth." That story reminded me that maybe the pieces of our life that shatter are not meant to be hidden, but to shine. The breaks, the losses, the detours, they are not the end of the story. They are the punctuation marks that make it worth reading. Now, when I look back at the times I thought I was finished, I realize I was simply in between sentences. I was still being written. Life had not abandoned me. It was rearranging me into someone I had not yet met. The pain, the silence, the uncertainty. They were not signs of failure. They were the soil where understanding finally began to grow. If you are listening to this and you feel like your story is over, remember this. Meaning often comes after the breaking. What feels like a full stop may actually be a comma. The author is still writing. The ink has not dried. And one day, you will read back through your chapters and understand that every ending was a doorway, every loss a teacher, and every quiet night a seed. You will see that your story was never over. It was only just beginning to make sense. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. It's legacy alive, where every life holds hidden chapters of light. Tell me in the comments, what moment once felt like an ending but became your turning point instead?